With the NBA draft lottery set to commence Monday, May 12th, the time is ticking for the New Orleans Pelicans. And so with everything you need to know about what's finna happen on Monday, we're going to talk about that right now in the Pelicans Scoop. Cue my music!
This is the Pelicans Scoop with Jordan Kitchens, breaking down everything under the sun about your New Orleans Pelicans. Smash that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to stay on top of your Pels content. Now, running point, here's Jordan.
What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another edition of the Pelicans Scoop. I am your host of the most, Jordan Kitchens, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. You know, it's odd for me to have a couple days off not making content because I don't know, I just love it a little bit now. But at the same time, I had to do a little bit of politicking on OTB. That's the morning show for my job. You know, I do a little bit of politicking, trying, show the masses about the Pelicans Scoop. So some of you guys might be coming from that, and the majority of you guys have been here for the long run. So guys, we're gonna break down the draft lottery. It's only right. The day of reckoning is here. It's coming May 12th. Like you're looking at the end of the tunnel, you see the light. Now that light could be, a pick in the top 3, top 4 potentially, right? Or that could be a train coming to hit you with a pick between 6 and 8. So the Pelicans, they can't land lower than 8, but damn, it's between 1 and 8, i.e. Jackson Hayes, i.e. Dyson Daniels. But before we get into all that, we're going to break that down right now. So the Pelicans posted this video narrated by Aaron Summers, basically breaking down everything you need to know about how the draft lottery process works. So once I play that for the class, then we're going to sit here and have a discussion. So
the NBA draft lottery takes place Monday, May 12th in Chicago. Let's take a look at what you can expect. The lottery is made up of the 14 teams that did not make the NBA playoffs. Each team is assigned odds for the number 1 pick based on the reverse order of regular season record. Teams are assigned random 4-digit combinations based on those odds. From there, 14 ping pong balls are placed in a hopper. The first combination drawn is the number 1 pick. Only the first 4 picks are drawn and decided at the lottery. The Pelicans are slotted at number 4 pre-draft lottery with 12.5% odds to get the number 1 pick. Based on the lottery results, the Pelicans could pick anywhere from 1 to 8 when the NBA draft takes place June 25th through 26th at the Barclays Center.
So great video by the Pelicans to sit there and educate us about that, because I definitely was not under the impression that the first 4 picks were picked at the draft lottery. Well, I was not under the impression the first ping pong pick is the number 1 pick. Was not under the impression about that at all. Well, I'm happy they, shined the light on that. So I'm also going to shine some light on that. So great video by the Pelicans, narrated by Aaron Summers. But number one thing that just always catches my eye, and I ain't gonna say just catches my eye, but just kind of makes me wake up in cold sweats at night, just sitting there like hitting one of these, just staring up at the ceiling fan in your room, is that if the Pelicans have such a disastrous season like this and somehow fall out the top 4, in the 4th pick, I really would like top 3. Of course, we're all like 1 or 2, but, I just don't feel like the Pelicans are going to get blessed that way. You're right. We done had AD and Zion. We'd already got blessed. A lot of teams hadn't even got a chance to get the number 1 pick before, and we done got 2 of them in a span of, 6-8 years. So in that sense, I don't think we're going to get blessed like that no time soon, especially with this Gail Benson archdiocese, whatever, looming over the city. You got Derek Carr terrorizing us. I just think we're out of luck, okay? We are out of luck, but that does not mean 2, 3, 4, I'm okay. Because when you start to go lower than that, that's when I'm just like, damn. Because you won 21 games and you're not going to bring in a game-changing play. But again, it's the draft. It's the lottery system, of course, but it's the draft. So some guys are going to get picked that you thought were going to be good, that turn out to not be good at all. And some guys you thought were not good at all end up to be extremely good. So that happens all the time. So I'm not going to sit here and just, oh man, if the Pelicans end up with Derek Queen, man, what the man, we trash. But that will be a good scenario if you do end up with the 8th pick. I will be fine with Derek Queen at the 8th spot. So a lot of mock drafts and a lot of people have been penciling in the Pelicans to get the 4th pick because they have they're the 4th team in the draft lottery odds, 12.5% to get the number 1 pick. So a lot of people have them penciled in at the 4th spot, and that's either between getting like Trey Johnson or Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, between any of those guys. Ace Bailey could be the 3rd pick, but a lot of people have concerns about Ace Bailey. I'm under the impression that Maybe necessarily if you get anything lower than 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, I'm okay with trading it. But top 4, I just feel like you have to go and select somebody. You have to go and get your guy. You have, even if he's going to be, even if that guy is going to necessarily fall to you, it's not who you wanted. It's not a Cooper Flag or a Dylan Harper. But still, you need a guy. Okay, forget the role players. Forget this. The Pelicans need a guy. All right, you're staring at starting the season off without DeJounte, without Trey, without Herb. Potentially, maybe one of those guys could be there out of Trey and Herb, but DeJounte, you can pencil that he's not going to be there at the start of the year. So you're looking at that in the face. You need offense. You need scores. You need guys that can sit there and get their own bucket. The same way that Trey Murphy was able to develop his game and expand his palette. Let's call it what it is. Expand his palette. Add on to his dribbling, his own scoring, not just sitting there being a catch and shoot guy. I can get it off the dribble. I can make my own play. The Pelicans need that. And I think if you're not going to be in the top 3, or, potentially you are 3, 4 through 5, you got to find a way to try and get your hands on Trey Johnson, man. I'm a big Trey Johnson guy. The freshman out of Texas, basically averaged 20 points this year. Great 3-point shooter. VJ Edgecombe is cool. Crazy athlete, but the Pelicans need a scorer. I'm not going to say necessarily a volume scorer, like he needs to take a lot of shots. I'm going to say the guy that when he gets the ball in his hands or when it touches his hands, he knows what to do. He has a move ready to go. He has a plan. Wouldn't you wish Jordan Hawkins would have shown you a plan once you get the ball? Not, whatever. Or if Jordan Hawkins could take that next step. It's just so many what ifs. We're sitting there playing the what ifs game at the end of the day. So many what ifs. So what if this guy blossoms? Or what if this? And truthfully, I hate doing that. I truthfully hate playing that game because I like to talk about what's certain and what we know, not about making hypothetical situations and, well, what if Jordan Hawkins takes a year 4 leap or year 3 leap, whatever year it is for Jordan Hawkins? Like, what if he takes a step and becomes the UConn guy you saw? But then you also, at the same time, you also have Willie Green. Or what if Joe Dumars trades Zion? We don't know. So it's so up in the air, but I can promise you all the dominoes will start to fall after the draft. Every single answer will come to fruition. And that's good or bad. But regardless of the fact, whatever pick that comes on Monday night, I'm going to do a live reaction of all that for Monday. Whatever happens, all the answers and all the dominoes will start to fall. We're start going to see things start to be in motion. We're going to start to see, maybe trade talks heat up. We're going to start seeing a lot more rumors. We're going to start seeing everything. But until then, everybody just sitting put and just waiting for the day of reckoning on the 12th. Simple as that. And there's just so many possibilities of what could happen because the Pelicans could end up with a Derek Queen to pair up with Yves Missi, go into this new era of the double big. I say new era of double bigs. I hate say the new era of double bigs because it's really just traditional how the NBA was built on. A power forward and a center. But now it's like, oh, the new era of the double bigs when it's kind of what's been going on except for like the last, 12 years, except when the Warriors got hot. Other than that, you was out there with a power forward in the center. But on the other hand, that doesn't matter. Pelicans could lean to that. Joe Dumars did explain that. I dropped the video on. Y'all go back and watch my Joe Dumars when he was talking on the podcast. And the main takeaway from that podcast was Joe's talking about, I think that the double bigs, traditional big men, is the way to go. You look at the top teams in the NBA, they have 2 versatile bigs that can do a lot of different things. You watched OKC last night with Hartenstein and Chet. So Joe Dumars does envision that's the way he wants this Pelican team to be built in the future. So would that mean, pairing Yves Missi up with a Derek Queen who can kind of space the floor a little bit, take that pressure off Zion in the front court, let him go play the 3, you put Trey at the 2. See, and when you start doing things like that, there's just so many questions about the lineup. And then it all falls at the feet of if Willie Green, man, why am I even still talking about Willie still being here, man? Why am I even still discussing about all this going to have to come to play if Willie Green, like, man, damn, man. What are we doing, man? That's the only gripe I still have with Joe Dumars. Is, why are we keeping Willie, man? Come on, man. If everything going to be a fresh start between, getting Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver, you're letting go of Swing, you're getting rid of David Griffin guys, get Willie out of here too, man. Start fresh. Put everybody on the same timeline because I'll be damned if the Pelicans have a bad year. I can say a bad year, but Willie underachieves pretty much. He's going to underachieve, and then the Pelicans going to fire him and bring in a new coach next year. Oh, why do that? Just go ahead and just start fresh. You already starting fresh. But I'm not going to sit here and rant. This is what not this video is about. But basically, what I'm saying is all this is going to have to fall at Willie's feet. depending on who you draft and how he's going to try and make this lineup work. And is he going to play Zion at the 3? Well, then, I mean, Trey has to play the 2. So if Trey plays the 2, is CJ still on the roster? Is Herb Jones coming off the bench? What about DeJounte? We still don't have a point guard. So you're going to have to put Zion at point guard, or you're going to experiment with CJ at the point guard again? Or it's just so many questions that still got to be answered. But you're not too far off if you land a great pick. Not only you land him, but the guy you draft is an immediate impact guy. I'm not sitting there saying you draft this kid and this guy is automatically LeBron James, or the next great one. I'm not sitting there saying that. But this guy you draft has to be a day one contributor of the team. If you're going to be a top 10, especially a top 5. All right, we ain't the Rockets drafting Reed Shepherd and you riding the pine all season. No. We do not have that many assets to be sitting there and doing that. So whoever this guy gets drafted has to be immediate impact. Immediately. Might even be a starter immediately, because you're gonna have 3 guys basically be out. So he has to come in and be immediate impact. So make it easier on him. Zion's going to have to be Zion, and this guy's going to have to find his way. Going to have a lot of good summer league. It's going to be summer league for the Pelicans will be box office. I think the summer league team will be pretty damn good. I forgot about Antonio Reeves. Antonio Reeves, year 2. Hopefully Jordan Hawkins is back in the summer league. You're going to have Carlo plus this rookie. I mean, who else? Messi in the summer league. So summer league team could potentially be good. Maybe Messi might not play, but yeah, the summer league team should be good. So y'all let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think about the draft lottery? If you had to pick between 1 and 8, between pick 1 and 8, obviously everybody wants a number 1 pick. Where do you realistically see the Pelicans falling? Be real. Don't sit there and be like, oh man, I know we get a number. Just be real. Between 1 and 8. They can't go lower than 8, and obviously can't go no higher than 1. So between 1 and 8, where do you guys think the Pelicans pick will land? The day of reckoning will be on Monday. I will do a live reaction to that. Hopefully I'm doing a good live reaction. Hopefully I'm not sitting there like, pause if needed. But yeah. So y'all let me know down in the comments, man. Enjoy y'all Thursday? Think so. I'm out, man. Peace.